Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and iOS 17 issues could finally be fixed very soon. We could have a Mac event in just a week or so, iPhone 16 could get a price increase, and we're not going to have any iPads before the end of the year. This is your weekly Apple News update for the week of October 22nd, 2023. This week, the FCC, or Federal Communication Commission in the United States, says Apple can now use the 6 GHz spectrum for devices. According to The Verge, the FCC approved the use of low-power devices within short range to use the 6 GHz spectrum. So that could be for the Apple Vision Pro. You could use other devices nearby that utilize this spectrum, freeing up some spectrum where other things could be crowded and allow for faster data transfer. So it's great to have that available, and hopefully we'll see that all around the world. If you use YouTube Music, you can now use it with HomePods. So before you didn't have HomePod access, now it will work with HomePods if you want to use that instead of maybe Spotify or Apple Music. Apple released a new Safari technology preview recently. You'll see here, if we scroll down, we have version 181 released on October 18th, 2023. It's available for Sonoma as well as macOS Ventura. So if you're testing this out, you want to make sure your website's compatible, you want to use some new technologies, that's available to test out. Tim Cook recently made a surprise visit to China to talk with game creators, shoppers, and staff, according to Bloomberg. Apparently, sales are quite low in China this year for the iPhone 15 models, and he went there to see what's going on, maybe some concerns, or maybe other things with future products as well. However, despite them saying sales are low in China, AT&T recently said pre-orders for the iPhone 15 models were the highest they've seen in years. However, TSMC, who makes the chipset for the Apple products throughout the world, has actually said iPhone 15 has had relatively weak demand worldwide compared with iPhone 14 devices. So that's something that is a bit conflicting. I would expect that worldwide they're down year over year, as not many people seem to be compelled to upgrade with the latest updates. Some people probably, of course, update every couple years, and it's the perfect time for them to do that, but many people seemingly have not upgraded, and I would say based off of YouTube views overall, the overall excitement seems to be lower than it has been in previous years for just about everyone out there. Now, if you've bought a new iPhone, or maybe you just need a charger, that's where today's video sponsor comes in, Anker. This is the Anker 20-watt charger. I carry these with me everywhere I go just to have something small, portable, that's able to actually charge via USB-C. They also have USB-C cables that can handle 240-watt charging, so MacBooks all the way to iPhones or AirPods, which is great. Also, the Anker Nano power bank is super compact, has a 30-watt capability, and two-way charges, meaning you can plug this into a charger to charge the power bank or plug it into your phone or device to charge it. It charges at 30 watts, so 50% in 30 minutes with the latest iPhones, and has a 10,000 milliamp hour battery on the go. It also gives you the status on the front, telling how much time you have left as far as that goes to charge your phone, or actually how much longer this can hold a charge. Additionally, if you need something even more compact, you'll see this is the new Nano Charge Bank that charges at 22.5 watts and has a built-in charger here. Just fold it up, plug it in, and it will begin charging your phone. You also have a charge capability on the side where you can plug it into charge here as well. And again, it charges your phone pretty quickly, and we have 5,000 milliamp hours as well. All of them have Active Shield 2.0 with dynamic temperature monitoring, and be sure to check out Anker's whole Nano lineup for 2023 with the link in the description. Also, if you're interested in the weekly Apple deals I post, they're linked in the description, where we have AirPods 3 on discount, Macs, and more, so be sure to check those out if you're interested. Now, we often have Apple Watch activity challenges, and this November 11th, there's one for Veterans Day. You'll see Mac Rumors posted what they look like, so we have a few different ones here, and all you need to do is work out here for about 11 minutes. So do any workout on Veterans Day for 11 minutes or more, and you can earn the different badges here. So I'll link this in the description if you want to check it out, but you can see the different activity challenge badges there. Now, iOS 17.1 is set to launch, well, it could be later today, but most likely Tuesday the 24th. It's there to address a bunch of issues, such as the shutdown issue that you have when the phone was shutting off by itself. Also, it's supposed to fix a bunch of other issues as well, along with adding features for standby, fixing text tones, and much more. I'll have a full video about that, but iOS 17.1 should fix a lot of those issues. But most importantly, the shutdown issue, where it would just turn off randomly, and then sometimes sometimes even your alarms wouldn't work. Hopefully it resolves that 100% for everyone. So far, based off the Twitter question I asked, it seems that it has. And the question I asked on Twitter, most people say that it's resolved it for them. However, some people said, nope, it hasn't fixed it. So we don't know 100%. We'll have to give it some time, but hopefully Apple actually resolved it. And if not, they release a new build to fix that tomorrow. Now, as far as iOS 17.2, we're going to move right into that. Within a day or so, usually the day after the public version comes out, they'll push out the next beta, iOS 17.2 Beta 1. We already know that that's in testing, and sometimes we'll see that the day after, a couple days after, or the following week. But either way, we know Apple's testing all the way up to iOS 17.4. Now, as far as future products, Apple is working on integrating generative AI into Siri and could launch as soon as next year with iOS 18, according to Mark Gurman. We know Apple's investing a lot of money into the development of future uses of AI, and Apple apparently may integrate this not just to Siri, but also things such as Apple Music, Xcode, and more. So they could work towards making it a little bit better. Hopefully Siri will bump up to another level in future updates. Apple is apparently going to have a launch event for Macs before the end of October, on or around the 30th or 31st of October. According to Mark Gurman, MacBook Pro 14 and 16-inch models are going out of stock, along with iMacs. We could maybe finally see some updated M3 processors with the M3 Pro and M3 Max, or it could just be updated displays as previously reported. iMacs will finally get updated CPUs, but I don't expect much of anything else, not any different sizes or anything like that, but Apple could surprise us there. This conflicts with what Ming-Chi Kuo said last week, where we would have no new Macs before the end of the year, and we'd have to wait until next year. So it seems like we could have some new Macs. That seems more likely. We don't typically just have iPhone and Apple Watch launches, but instead usually have iPads, Macs, or something else. So I hope to actually see that. However, we don't think we'll have iPads this year. According to Mark Gurman, he said new iPads will launch around March of 2024, with new iPad Pro, iPad Air, and iPad Mini, and maybe a regular iPad as well. That's a bit unusual, but it seems like Apple's going to do that this year. Apple is also said to be working on a 12.9-inch iPad Air, according to DigiTimes and a leak from 9to5Mac, who said they were working on 2 models of the iPad Air. This seems to match what Apple's been doing lately, just bringing out more and more products without simplifying the lineup. I would love to see them simplify this with an iPad and iPad Pro, and just really push towards 2 devices with maybe a couple different sizes. That seems to make the most sense since we have such powerful chips. We just need different sizes with different capabilities. So that would make the most sense, like Steve Jobs did years ago, where we just had one version of the regular device, one Pro device. I would love to see that, especially in the iPad lineup where it's a bit confusing. Let me know your thoughts of that in the comments below, and hopefully we see these within a few months or so. Apple is also apparently working on a foldable iPad where it's in intensive development, according to DigiTimes. So they could be working on a foldable device. We know they've looked into this for years. We may never see this, but I think the iPad makes the most sense for a foldable device instead of an iPhone. That way it's a little more compact, and maybe have a 12.9-inch that folds up, but they would have to get rid of the crease, and it would of course have to be more durable. So we could see that. We're hearing more and more about the iPhone 16 as Apple works on them years ahead of time, usually 3 or more years. And this time around, we're hearing that the iPhone 16 could cost more than the iPhone 15 models. Now, we've heard this year over year, but this year it does cost more to produce since it uses titanium. According to Nikkei Asia, the cost is about a 12% increase to the iPhone 15 over the iPhone 14. In 2024, with the iPhone 16, the price may go up to help compensate for the increased components and material cost. Titanium is harder to work with, and if they add additional features with the zoom camera and more to the regular Pro models, or they're just adding more buttons, or just machining costs in general go up, the price could increase to the consumer as well. That seems to make a lot of sense. Samsung has done similar things, so if we see it increase a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised. But either way, maybe that's just for an Ultra model, or maybe we'll just have Pro models again, but we're hearing more and more about those. Now, as far as the Apple Vision Pro, as we get closer to the launch of that, Apple is planning to train retail employees in a secretive training event. In the Weekend Power On newsletter from Mark Gurman, he said select employees will travel to Cupertino to learn how to use the headset and then train other staff for when it arrives in stores. So Apple needs to get ready for an early launch next year and get staff trained up. This makes a lot of sense. It should be in a few more months. And of course, employees will need to know how to use it so they can tell others how to use it and then fit people for the different bands and things as that's said to what's going to be the experience. You'll order one. If you go in the store, they'll actually decide what size fits you and then customize everything for you. So we're going to have that sort of custom experience we did with the first Apple Watches as well. For $3,500, we should have some of that, and they should be very knowledgeable about it. Let me know what you think about the Vision Pro and everything else we've talked about today in the weekly news update. And if you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, I'll link it in the description below. Also, let me know what you're looking most forward to this year with Apple updates, iOS 18, different products, and more. If you haven't subscribed already, though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.